Hello, 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 everybody. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, and this is day 2 of Phantom Arts Fest, our marathon of our marathon of eight
Yay!
tabletop RPGs run by 8 different GMs with a wide variety of fantastic players. You can see their names and handles and pronouns on the screen right now. Let's go in order and introduce everybody. Why don't you introduce yourself first, Dave, who's GMing for us today?
Hello, I'm Dave. I do game-related stuff on occasion at Uncanny Dice. I'm currently getting ready to do my live game design show, Ludomaki, Edinburgh Fringe. Busy.
I know the feeling. But no, that's going to be super exciting. I've not been to Edinburgh Fringe in time, and kind of like the intersection of comedy shows and the kind of like tabletop improv that I have now gotten way too into over the last 5 years or so is that kind of intersection always tickles my fancy. Welcome once again. We also have appearing on the Neoncaster channel for the first time, Mer. Hello.
Hey, I'm Mare. I use they, she pronouns. You can mostly find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice, screaming about a variety of things, which include crafts, tabletop RPGs, and my cats, especially my cats. I'm also the producer over on the Friends Who Roll Dice Twitch channel.
And also welcoming to our channel for the very first time, everybody please give a warm welcome to Gona.
Oh no. Hello, my name is
you're
Gona
muted,
Hawking. Oh no.
I can hear you.
No.
Oh, no, you're not.
I can hear you. You're good.
I muted my
Oh,
Discord
God.
audio by mistake.
The panic.
You're
No.
good. I apologize.
From the top.
Fine.
Please welcome everybody.
Hello, I'm Gona Hawking. Apparently, most of the time you can now find me over on Twitter at Gona_Hawking. Because while I do stream and do tabletop RPGs and a variety of voice acting things, right now my computers are kaput, and so I'm just we're on hiatus, right? That's how that works. But yeah, TTRPG, art, all of the good things, and
Marvelous.
any pronouns work for me.
Gotcha. Gosh. This session is going to be very, very fascinating because in addition to us playing Ryuutama, we are having a decent amount of it be AI generated in bits and pieces. Would you like to kind of explain that part of the premise to the people out there, Dave?
So there's been a rise in sort of quite accessible machine learning tools that generate text, generate images of various types and qualities. And I've picked a couple of tools. We're going to be using InferKit for text generation, and we're going to be using Midjourney for some image generation. Now, the image generation does take a bit longer, so we kind of got to get that running and then sort of leave it in the background for a little bit. But InferKit is very fast, so we can actually pretty much live get suggestions and like almost improv offers from InferKit in kind of real time. There's going to be some bits where I might have to enter some text while people talk among themselves while I work out what happens next. But I don't think it's going to be that much worse than just trying to do that in a regular game. So there may be some teething problems. There may be some utterly awful suggestions that we have to kind of just completely ignore because these tools struggle with context, particularly. So what I did is I got our players to provide me with some keywords, which I use to generate some images. We have could we get the background up?
Oh, yeah. Give me a second. Let's move over to game screen. Whoop. There we are.
Wonderful. So we have our particular keywords. We've got whimsical, fantasy, awe-inspiring, coral, and wild. And this is the lovely landscape that it created for us with sort of round sort of core hills in the background, the sweeping river, the beautiful, vibrant grasslands, and the strange round houses. And that's kind of been what's inspired me kind of going into this, and it hopefully will give us some nice new things that we might not have dreamed up ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to a little bonus thing, in addition to the art and text that's being generated, on regularly on our channel, we like to have sessions with a web software called rave.dj, which lets you put in two pieces of music found on YouTube, and it uses an AI to mash them together. And we figured that would be a very cute way to add some additional bits of soundtrack to the session as well. Only chat and I are going to be able to hear it based on the way the tech is set up for it. But thank you, everybody who submitted some mixes.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to watch this one back.
You're gonna have to check the VOD to see how it goes. But there are some there are some absolute bangers that people have put some very atmospheric stuff.
Wonderful.
So we'll be going with that. And of course, chat, do let us know if there's any kind of like if anybody needs to be raised or lowered in volume and all those bits and pieces if the music is too loud. Please let me know, and I will fix that post haste. But with all of that out of the way, let's party. Take it away, Dave.
Okay, so we begin in the town of Drakesborough. Drakesborough lies on the edge of the strange land known as the Dragon's Dream, a protean place, ever shifting, less consistent than the rest of the world around it. In this world, the journey, the people traveling is an age-old rite, almost sacred. Everyone's expected to go on at least one big journey in their lifetime, get away from their hometown, go see the world, learn about new places, new cultures. And for various reasons that we don't really need to go into because they're not part of the plot this session, but we would if it was a long-running game. Our party have found themselves in the town of Drakesborough. Drakesborough is built into the cliffs on a gigantic coral mountain, and we did generate a little bit of this using the machine learning tools. It's kind of a smallish settlement, mostly older people. The older people in here tend to have quite greyish skin. Their ruler is Ducky, who was a former bandit queen who gave up their title and went straight in order to sort of avoid punishment from the king of the region when Drakesborough accidentally moved near to the kingdom. Its specialties are goat's wool and salt, and there's always a scent of wildflowers hanging in the air. The problem is that because it's just inside the Dragon's Dream, it does kind of move around a little bit, and it can have some very, very unpredictable weather, which occasionally causes problems for the town. They do have a small museum dedicated to various specimens of things that have fallen out of the sky, including a musket, an umbrella, a tiny catapult, several fish, and other small marine animals, which have all been put on display in the museum.
A tiny catapult.
Tiny catapult.
How tiny are we talking here?
I'm thinking, for the purposes of the game, it's size 1.
Okay. Sure.
If you're planning to steal the tiny catapult already, then...
I was just curious. Nobody said anything about petty larceny.
Yes, you found yourselves in Drakesborough, waiting for Griffin, your merchant contact, who was supposed to be taking you further into the Dragon's Dream. However, when you arrive at their shop, there's a large sign on the door that says closed back in 2 weeks, giving you plenty of time to kill in town. And thankfully, because of this culture of journeys, there are lots of little jobs on the jobs board that you may want to take on. And once you've picked one, we'll do a little bit of generation, find out a little bit more about where that job is and what it's doing, and head out into the city. So we're going to have like a little bit of character introduction of just the characters wandering around Drakesborough, and I'm going to drop a list of buildings into the Discord chats, which the Twitch people cannot see.
We're keeping that hidden from chat,
one of those places to do your intro.
Alright, I'll go
Yes.
first because I just like homed in on one of those options.
think we all did.
So please describe your character in that part of Drakesborough.
Okay, so I am playing Bryn. She uses she/her pronouns. She's like about a mid 40-year-old woman. She's got like seafoam hair that's slightly wavy with just like a leather band on top to keep it out of her face. Um, she's wearing these really, really functional but dirty, ugly old boots. For those at home, they have the uncool modifier. They're
Ooh.
gross. They look like they have been well used, well worn, and a camouflage cape that looks more like mud than actual camo.
No.
So she's got also a bow slung over her back, and on part of the wooden part, there's actually a little pink ribbon that's tied to it in a cute little bow. And Bryn is kind of like kneeling down and just looking into a pit that is just filled with like spiders and spider webs, and just looking at it curiously like, why is this here? What purpose does this solve? Do they collect the spider silk for weaving? Don't they export wool?
Well,
Um,
I suppose if they export all the wool, they'll still need some materials for themselves. Maybe it's a new
True.
enterprise.
But like, all I see are a lot of spiders. It doesn't look like anything has been moved in a very long time or
Hmm.
touched. Also, spiders.
Maybe they just have a
Yeah,
really bad
they're-
fly problem.
You would have seen before you investigated a number of people coming in and out of the spider pit. You from the looks of it, even though no one seems to be doing anything really there, a lot of people seem to just go there as like a meetup spot. Like they'll just go, chat near the spider pit. Seems like a bit of a locus for like things going on in the town.
Local
Mhm.
attraction, I guess. Also, I'm not going to mess with a horde of spiders, so they could stay where they want.
Wonderful. So Bryn is staring in blank confusion into the spider pit. Who would like to introduce their character now?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
June. Yeah, so June is she is right around like the 35 dipping into 50. No, 35 dipping into 40. I don't know how numbers work. I'm simple huntress. But she is currently she carries a large bag, and from that bag you can see different drying ingredients like hanging from it. She's wearing just some goodness awful mud boots that look like she's probably been trekking for miles and miles. But she happens to be walking by the spider pit, and she gets out her notebook and like flips a few pages because she can hear like just every once in a while Bryn like muttering, "What spiders? Why would and she goes, well, yeah, no, they do like there are all of these different recipes that you can use with spiders where you can fry them or you can bake them real good, and then they got the little juicy bits in there if depending on the size of the spider."
Do you know how to make any of these, June?
Oh goodness, no. I'd love to learn how. I just know that I know it can be done, but I've never done it myself.
We see somebody go past who has like almost like a county fair. I've never eaten one before. It's very much an American thing, but a corn dog, right?
Oh, I've had one.
But a spider
experience.
just wedged onto a stick, deep battered, and we just see somebody just take a big bite out of it. There's like little green effect particles upon kind of like biting into it. They're like, delicious.
You know, I have eaten worse.
I mean, if you wanted to, if you want to take one of those with us, I can turn that into jam. It is a spell that I know how to do, although better you than me.
Would it
Who is this
be?
person?
Oh,
Who
go ahead.
who is the person that's joined them in the spider pit with their corn dog?
Yes, joint with both of these hunters is a rather foppish, kind of thin, twisty fellow by the name of Keats, who has these long black dreads all the way down to their back, with lots of twisted kind of bits of metal and gems in there, all very brass themed, with a violin in a case slung over their shoulder and a cape made of autumn leaves, for they are a minstrel of the autumn court of magic. Not especially strong and able to do adventuring by themselves. So they are very, very thankful that they managed to make friends with two hunters who could help them with safe passage among the different locations within the Dragon's Dream.
Nice.
So
Okay.
if you make it into jam, though, would it turn the spiders into a sweet jam, or would it be a spider flavored jam? Because if it's a jam, it defeats the purpose of them being made of spiders.
It would be a spider flavored jam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it carries bits of the kind of like texture and experience. It's more like the jam takes on the memories of the food. So if the food is crunchy, the jam also has a bit of bite to it, right? Um but like looking at like June, who looks maybe a little nonplussed / unconvinced, it does remove any negative effects. So if the spider is poisonous, the jam isn't poisonous.
But here's the thing. I feel like you could just make a jam with the spiders instead of doing a spell to make it. Like, do a jam spell on something that can't be turned into jam already by itself.
Yeah, it's mostly like immediately put on the back foot. It's mostly like a preservative thing. Like if the spider is going to go bad, then we can turn it into. I really don't want to eat spider jam. I'm gonna have to make some spider jam for you too, aren't I?
No, I'm okay. If I had to try it, I would try it. I will try anything once, but like, I don't need it.
Good,
As
good.
this conversation's going on, outside a quite tall figure kind of rushes past. They're quite like lanky. They've got glasses. They bump into someone, kind of apologize. They look around, kind of a little lost. They see a large sort of glass building and sort of check some papers, and then run off in that direction in a sort of like loping, like uncoordinated run.
Was that muffin that passed through just now? What are they even up to?
Well, they looked like they were in quite a rush. Should we offer to help?
They did want to go and check out the observatory, but I suppose we should help them out unless they're in a jam.
You're worse than my husband with all the dad jokes.
Oh, well, you know, when you learn storytelling as you travel, the Dragon's Dream, you also pick up a lot of terrible wordplay.
As you kind of leave the spider pit, looking to see where Muffin went, you probably bumped into Muffin on like in previous towns on the way here. They just seem to turn up a lot, and often lose something. There's you in their wake you find a bunch of scraps of like a scrap of two of paper with like little notes written on them. One of them is like a checklist, like find place, find room, find merchant, which has a cross next to it. There's a find a job question mark on this like list, and then there's this like visit question mark. It's in horrible scruffy writing.
June's just like picking these up as we go and just like not filing them, but like sorting them in alphabetical.
Remind me again, who's Muffin?
Muffin is just someone you keep running into. Like
Okay.
you've seen them at like a few other towns, and they've got like sort of messy green hair and they just seem to be everywhere, you know.
That NPC that just keeps showing up.
Yeah, that
on our
NPC
quest.
that keeps showing up.
Always strangely helpful, always happens to coincidentally barrel into something that we need to do, but by themselves, maybe not so necessarily helpful.
Okay, so sort of behind the scenes for those of you who aren't familiar with Ryuutama, in this game, the GM does have a character. They're not a proper adventurer, but they're like a trainee dragon whose job it is to record the party's journeys so they can feed them to a bigger dragon.
The biggest
And,
dragon, TM.
Unbeknownst to the party, Muffin is actually a dragon in disguise. Not a particularly good disguise. It turns out they're not very good at the whole 2 legs thing.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of do. We have to wait for the shopkeep to come back. They said to meet us here, our contact, but they're gone for 2 weeks. I don't know, but I'm fine with filling up the time, and I would like to say hi to Muffin again.
Yes. We might as well find something to fill in the time. And if there are anybody that needs helping, then we can leave a positive vibe when we move on.
Coincidentally, you have, as you follow the trail of papers, you find yourself near the jobs board, which advertise a number of jobs that travelers may want to take on to make a little bit of money and, you know, tie themselves over, you know, in the town. And there are a number of notices posted. It seems like, you know, there aren't that many people here taking these jobs. Some of them are
It
quite
is
old.
way up in the mountains.
Yeah, it is kind of out of the way, and it does, like, the town is occasionally not where it's supposed to be, which is kind of a problem sometimes. Some of these are ones that I've created. Some of these were generated by Infurkit.
I'm sure we'll be able to tell which is which.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to. It is prize goat missing, reward for safe return. That one looks quite old, but it's still up, and the money's decent. Dazzleweed wanted, pays well. A food delivery to Monroe Castle. Sleeping Giant wanted for work at Drabblesby. There is a note that just has the word Sand Goblin Poet on it. Housing available for ranch hands / goat shearers. Restaurant needs help. Ingredients needed for narcolepsy potions, please see. And the note doesn't finish. And Papa Sithsif offer quests and steal eggs.
Wait, stealing eggs?
Stealing eggs. Egg heist.
I'm just gonna drop this in the Twitch chat.
Yes, please do, so they can see the list as well.
This is a genuine, infer cricket suggestion.
I'm
like, offer quests and steal eggs.
I'm like, is that narcolepsy potion to cure or cause narcolepsy? I'm concerned.
It doesn't say.
But on the other hand, do you think you can pass as a sand goblin poet?
I might be a little too tall for a goblin, unfortunately.
How well can you rhyme though? Like that's pretty minstrelly right there. Can you rhyme?
We can. Go ahead.
They're both looking at me. Are you really expecting me to drop hot bars just now in front of everybody? Gosh.
Oh, only if you want to.
Maybe let's maybe work up to it a little bit. Flapping at the air, big anime sweat drop.
But so we have a couple options here. We can either play to our strengths, you know, for myself and June, we can hunt down this prize goat. We can look for herbs. I'm not the best at herb hunting. I'm a better hunter, but those are some pluses. Or we can just go out of left field and steal some eggs, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
I mean, the food delivery sounded like it would be a nice time, but yeah, I do kind of wonder why this goat has been missing for so long. Surely the goat is maybe passed on at this point.
Goats are an enigma. It would not surprise me if they are still around and just evading capture. Have you seen them like climb up cliffs? They can like climb like almost completely vertical cliffs.
Oh
So
goodness.
it could be a goat in disguise. Could be having a little handlebar mustache. You can't tell it's the same goat.
Maybe. Like they are terrifying creatures. Have you seen their eyes, Keats?
Oh yes. Oh, such a strange shape. Fascinating.
Okay. So have you decided which of the quests you're going to be taking on?
It sounds like we're going to be finding this gosh darn goat.
This old, like, yeah, you're gonna take the old prize goat one.
Mystery
Wonderful.
goat. Yeah.
The mystery goat.
I like to
Right.
think that there's a picture of like this tiny baby goat, and we're just gonna end up finding like this wizened grandfather of a goat.
I actually have the perfect picture for this.
You have a picture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Happened to
We-
generate one earlier that kind of fits. I
We
did
might
not
wanna,
think
like-
you were going to take the goat job, but
Like we might want to like talk to some people around town though, just because this is old. We don't know who to talk to. Maybe try and like get a better idea of what it looks like and how long it's been missing.
That's a good
yeah,
idea.
there are some.
What were its favorite hangout spots? Where did it like to go? Did it go to the spider pit?
Does it hang with like chickens or some other wild goats? Maybe they were peer pressured into leaving by the wild goats.
Bully
Maybe
goat
it's
scruff,
just out
indeed.
living its best life.
So, are you going to sort of ask around town, see if you can find out anything about this this goat, this missing goat?
Yeah, shall we roll some dice about that?
I think this is going to be an intelligence plus spirit roll.
Ooh. Well, for me, my intelligence and spirit are actually. Oh, I have D6 in both of those. Unless anybody has a better.
Oh. Are we all rolling or are you rolling?
Well, the person who wants to roll is probably the person who has the best stats, right?
I only had a D6 and a D4.
Right.
I think everyone should roll and get different
Oh.
bits of information.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
I
rolled
can just
forward.
imagine like
Just
it's a little bit
scatter.
of a montage of you going through different parts of the town and seeing what's there.
I like that. Cool. All right, rolling my 2d6.
I rolled an 8.
That is a 5 and a 4, so a 9.
Got a 5.
Oh dear. Mm-hmm.
5, 8, and 9.
Hmm.
So who got a 5?
Me.
All right. So as you're kind of asking around for the various people of towns, you're getting some odd looks due to your quite odd fashion sense and your sort of dangly kind of things. And didn't you say you had uncool boots as well?
I have muddy boots. They're not uncool.
You did
They
take
might
the
be
uncool stuff.
super freaking cool under all the mud. You just can't tell.
You might be super
The one
freaking
with
cool.
the uncool descriptor clothes, like mechanically.
You didn't take the descriptor. Sorry, that's my that was my bad there. But yeah, you get some answers. You get told a lot of things about goats in general, like the various parts of the mountains that they live in, and the fact that at this time of year they tend to like head down more onto the plains near the river, which is where they kind of like raise their young. Before retreating up to the mountains when the babies are kind of old enough to leap and stuff like that.
Writing all of this down in a notebook. Absolutely.
Nice.
What does your notebook
Okay.
look like? I'm curious.
Say it again, please.
What does your notebook look like? Is it cute? Is it kind of like a hard, level worn thing?
So you notice that there are different sections to this notebook, like different kinds of paper are in it. And she only seems to be working in one section of the notebook. And from that section, you can see like dried sprigs of things are sticking out. It's incredibly haphazard and like tiny notes over here and then a big like circle of try this over here. Very very much a culmination of her travels.
Nice, nice, nice. Anyway, continue, Dave. Sorry.
So who had the next like largest amount of good information?
I had an 8.
You had an 8. Okay, an 8 is considerably better. So yes, with an 8, you find out that it was posted by Kazel, the Master Shearer,
That's all.
who was quite a well thought of goat herd. Back a few years ago, and then things kind of started going downhill, and his prize goat vanished, and since then they've kind of been a bit sort of a down and out. They've been kind of pining for this missing goat for quite a while. Never kind of quite got back in the sort of the championships. And it doesn't help that the Goatland theme park that they were trying to make, the sort of tourist attraction, kind of failed because no one could find their way here. So they were kind of big invested into that. And yeah, you find out that they've sort of never been the same since their prize goat vanished.
What was the name of the person again?
A Kezel.
Kezel.
Kezel,
Yes.
the goat shearer.
The master goat shearer.
You have to go to university for that.
A whole diploma.
You had apprenticeships and all sorts. Yeah, like they were serious into the goat shearing business. Wonderful. And what did Keats get?
I got a 9.
Okay. With a 9, you get you find the same sort of information, but because you're kind of looking a bit fancier, you're like poking around a bit, you find the actual bar where Kezel is drowning their sorrows.
Oh, well, that makes things a little easier. The bar. I'll find some bar jams, but what's the general kind of like energy of this bar? While Kezel is maybe a little bit of a downer, is the general environment also pretty moody, or is it more of a kind of like chill venue?
Everyone else is a lot less sort of drowning their sorrows.
Morose.
Than
Sure.
It's kind of getting towards like afternoon, so there's a few people in here having a spot of lunch. There's some pie which you think may or may not be spider. There's a couple of waiters, bar staff kind of rushing in and out, serving up food, serving up like frothing mugs of like light beer. It's there's the side of the bar kind of opens out, and there's a lovely view over the various parts of the city, only disturbed by the occasional blade of the windmill passing in front of the window and sort of blocking out the light for basically a minute before it has like 5 minutes and the next one comes around as this huge windmill slowly turns.
Yeah. I think Keats sees Kezel and realizes that it's probably going to be pretty difficult to talk to him while he's in this kind of emotional state. So I would quite like to go and play something rousing to raise his spirits, to kind of open him up in advance of asking him about things.
Yeah, wonderful. Are you going to do this before informing the rest of the party, or are you going to...
I think the performance is definitely going to be loud enough to kind of raise the idea of where Keats has wandered off to. But I definitely think that he does this independent of actually talking to anybody else about it.
Yeah. So yes, you strike up a rousing tune. That's going to be Spirit and Spirit.
Sure.
And we're going to sort of cut to... We're going to cut to Bryn. When Bryn first hears this sort of tune, where are you at the moment?
So I was talking to some people just in general to figure out and where I learned about Kezel. I probably find myself at the goat shed. because
Yeah.
I'm
Makes a lot
still
of
waiting
sense.
to hear back from everyone else, and I'm just like
Yeah.
kind of familiarizing myself with the prints that goats leave when they walk, and maybe like the
Ah,
general
very
idea of what the goats in this area look like, or maybe the prize winning goat that Kezel had some kids, and I can figure out what the lineage looks like. Maybe what was special about this goat specifically.
Mm-hmm.
great. And yeah, you hear the sort like the violins start to strike up, ringing out over the city, and it's almost like your call to action. Right. Where's June at this stage?
Keats is such a great violinist.
It's kind of an okay role though. It's an only okay role.
Like you're listening to it and you're like,
Yeah.
they could do better.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm nice.
Yeah. Whereabouts
Uh,
is June?
So June being told like all of these things is kind of like near a precipice of edge, looking out into like this vast expanse of an alley that she was told the goats go to at this time of year, and just like really looking like, could that one be him? Just like squinting, looking real hard
Yeah,
to see if
they're
see
like
if, like
days to
maybe
travel
it's just
away to the river. Yeah, he's sort of staring out into space. There is someone who offers like to draw you a sort of sketch of the area. But they won't be done by. Then you suddenly hear the violin start up. And also, while we're going through this little bit of a montage, it's quite bright. There's you're in a bright room. There's like light filtering through stained glass, and you see Muffin there, and she kind of hears the violin, so gets up to her feet, sends like the teacup on the table like spilling all over her. She starts apologizing profusely to an indigo skinned woman like sat opposite her. She grabs her stuff and just sort of runs out. Don't quite, the sound's off. All you can hear is the violin. You don't actually hear what she's saying. And she kind of hurries out, leaving the figure like looking at the sort of half like spilt tea set, and putting her hand to her temple,
Exhausted.
as yes. Coincidentally, gives you all time to sort of meet up at the bar. What was the roll?
It was a 6, a little less than
6
average.
definitely enough to get everyone else here kind of, like dancing and singing. It's a little awkward as the sort of the bar staff kind of have to sort of dance around people who are dancing. And as the two of you kind of arrive, one of the staff, are you here about the help job? Too many customers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we here for the help, June?
we're here to help a goat. We gotta find a goat first, and then we can come back for this later, maybe.
We also heard a friend playing.
She kind of like leans into Bryn conspiratorially and is like, we didn't even really want the restaurant job, right? We weren't really thinking about this one.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That shite.
Then would you like a drink?
Keats finishes the song that they're playing, and kind of like passes by the kind of like bartender, the patron of the bar, and is all like, actually that would be delightful. We're just going to be sitting over here, if you wouldn't mind doing a little bit of table service. Sorry. Gesturing towards where Kezel is sitting, probably I picture at a larger table, but entirely by himself.
Yeah, there's just some like some dirty plates and things like that. He clearly had company earlier, but now he's kind of on his own, sort of staring wistfully out into space, possibly down the valley.
Did the playing of music improve his mood at all, or is he?
It seems to have he's gone from staring into his drink to
Mm.
staring out of the window, which is an improvement.
You know, I know enough old Englishmen to know that is a marked improvement in
Yeah.
demeanor. So yes,
His body language is no longer "go away, I'm busy being sad." It's not. I think we're gonna go for the sort of old English sort of pub guy kind of look.
Big pub guy
sort
vibes.
of
Yes.
Sort of like a vest over the top of like a work shirt. Sort of like sleeves rolled up. Sort of graying hair, kind of go like very thin on top. Like ruddy complexion, quite a lot of like lines on the face. Quite the sort of like deep tan of someone that spends a lot of time outside.
Keats kind of waves at Bryn and June to the table that he's about to go sit at, and sits across the table from Kezel. I believe you're Kezel?
I'm Kezel the Misfortunate.
Hope you don't mind if we do join you for breakfast, brunch, lunch.
Please, the seats are there, though I fear my lamentations have driven off my other companions.
Well, at the very least, it seems like you have a story to tell, and I'm...
Oh, many stories, some of happier days.
Well, I and my friends are pretty adept at giving unfinished stories happy endings. Keats smiles, surprisingly winningly. We've heard that your goat has gone missing, and it'd be nice if you could tell us what happened. Maybe we can help.
We saw your job posting.
You're here for the posting?
Mm-hmm.
He seems genuinely shocked. Perhaps not the most misfortunate day after all. Well, I shall tell you the tale. And he launches into the backstory for like his glory days. It's like, the number 2 goat shearer in all of the land. And he was taking goats to various championships, like selling like prize winning wool. And like then he mentions, and then there was Morgan. Morgan was special. Probably the greatest goat we've ever bred. True wonder. Though I don't think anyone could see the beauty of that goat quite like I could. He waxes lyrical about the sheen of Morgan's fur and the subtle variations in colour.
So, what happened when the day she went missing? Try to interject slightly so it's just not continuous a love ballad of this goat.
Goat worship.
Yeah. You kind of jar him out of like this recollection into and it was the day of the inter-county goat shearing championships, and I went down to find Morgan, and door to the stable, to the goat pen, was open. Morgan was missing. Searched high and low, but the competition was about to start. I had to enter with my second best goat. My heart wasn't in it. I slipped, and I sheared all the fur from one side. I was laughed out of the championship.
Sorry.
Keats's expression at the kind of like imagining he for a fraction of a second imagines like a goat entirely like cleanly bisected in terms of fur removed and fur still there, and does his best to stifle a chuckle at that. That sounds like that sounds like quite a problem. But you say you say the gate was open. Do you happen to have any, like, Soto behind the hand, goat shearing rivals?
Any, but they were all at the contest. None of them could have done it. Not that I know.
Hmm.
Do you remember where? Did you see any tracks of like maybe people who took Morgan, or maybe Morgan wandered off? Because this sounds like it's a couple years old, so we can't really go look ourselves for tracks and clues. But anything you can remember would be very helpful. And is there an identifying piece of information that we would know it's Morgan and not just a random wild goat?
Uh, Unlike many goats, Morgan always had a fondness for witchweed, the potion making plant. Loves the stuff, and they goes into a great detail about the shape of the ears and the fur, and the coloration. You you reckon as a hunter with this amount of information, you could probably like recognize that goat if you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of nudge June. June, did you get all that?
I got bits and pieces, but like I don't actually know what I don't know some of the terms he's using.
Oh, I meant like just writing it down for reference for later.
That's
Oh,
fine.
I
I've
wrote
got it.
none of that down, but
I have it. Don't worry.
Okay, okay.
That you kind of peer at Keats's notebook in a different style to June's. Keats's looks like the cover of it has been made from many autumn leaves carefully pressed and then
Oh,
essentially rebound as leather. With the kind of like regular kind of more handmade pages inside. It seems that on the left side is all like musical notation stave bars, and then the right side is all lined. So this page that has been topped with, as suggested by chat, the Ballad of Morgan, has all this now detail about the goat, but there's no music assigned to it yet.
Their story's not done yet.
yet,
yeah,
yet.
Okay.
awesome.
Well, I suppose
So
we might
you
need to look for some witchweed then.
yeah, you find there's a variety of information that you get that we're not going to go into because I don't, as a GM, know an incredible amount about goats, so we're gonna have to sort of gloss over some of it. However,
My 4-H days have arrived.
so yeah, you armed with your new goat knowledge and the promise of payment, you what is your next step? Are you going to go pick up that sketch?
Oh, removing
Uh,
like the sketch from the board so they know that the quest has been taken.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
and I believe someone was like making a sketch of
Yeah.
the area that the goats go for me, right?
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I have posted that. This should be visible to the rest of you shortly.
Ooh, got it.
Pretty.
Oh
I
wow,
will.
you're amazing. This you did this in an afternoon. Holy
Hey.
crap. That's amazing.
I will make sure that stream can see it as well. Hold on.
Yes, bear with us, stream. We will have the image for you shortly.
What a map
Mother-
though. Jesus Christ.
I give a motherly pat to the person who made this sketch because proud mom right here.
Yeah. So this is the a picture of the valley of the Wigglespine River. There's like the towers in the back are the abandoned city, like the abandoned town of Moreau Castle, and the whole area is the Tharos Basin. There's a little bit the weird like anemone red things are Breaksborough State Forest. And there's a little bit that's just marked as the Wholesome Dwelling Valley.
Mhm. Wholesome
What
dwelling.
what exactly that means, who knows? But it sort of like labels like some of the routes. Obviously, they can't do a proper map because, well, the land here shifts, but things kind of sometimes keep the same relative positions. So this is the closest thing they've managed to give you.
Mm.
just like it doesn't need to be Kezel, but just like another random like goat herder or someone who is working with goats just near and knows about them right now. I like turn to them. I'm like, "Hi, I just have a quick question. Are goats like horses, where they kind of like converge with each other, and are they herd animals? Do they like being with each other?"
Oh, normally they live in small families, but about this sort of time of year, a lot of them head down towards the river and form like a big herd for where they mate and have their children.
Okay. Then I turn back to June and Keats. So if they do kind of like to make herd up together, we might want to check there first. So we're not just looking for one random goat in the middle of nowhere.
That makes
Maybe
sense.
they kind of like group together, and we can you find some of the witchweed and go from there.
Hmm. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. We can.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So it sounds like we're planning a journey out
Mhm.
into the basin.
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing to prep for your journey? How much food are you going to go buy? For the stream people, Ryuutama has quite a in-depth sort of inventory and sort of provision management system. We're not going too into it, but I kind of need an idea of what preparations you're making for your trek. It looks from the map that you've been given, there are some reasonable sort of trails. It is kind of out into the wilds, though. We're talking sort of plains kind of territory, unless you take the shortcut for the forest, but they don't recommend that for newcomers.
Mm.
How long does the trek seem to take, or if I ask an NPC like how long do they say it takes to get down there?
They reckon you're probably going to want 4 days
Mm-hmm.
Round trip or one way?
each way.
4 days. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Where do I have? I
I
might
may
go
have
get some
I may have
more
overstated
rations.
that actually.
Like I know like Bryn and I can hunt and everything,
Mhm.
but I still think that I'm going to get like another set of rations just in case, or a couple sets of rations.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
handle rations. Don't worry about
Oh, so I have 2 sets on me right now, just
Mhm.
like as a backup. But I was gonna hunt if we just to like save up on that and just rations for emergencies.
that. It's I think for the most part I've not needed to use my magic too much here, so I'm fully charged, and I can help secure some food for the road. Just worry about more other like camping provision bits and pieces, like keep the unusual weather out and things like that.
Well, I don't have a tent. I have some sleeping bags for myself, and like set up a fire, rope, and stuff like that. But I don't have a tent or anything. I just kind of rough it.
Mm-hmm. I well, there's the process of the inventory bits and pieces that we did beforehand, and excuse me, I didn't process the idea that I could make my items crummier to have more money for other things. So I have I have equipment so I'm not running around naked. I do not have a tent. If you wouldn't mind obtaining it, I explained I'm
I
not very
think I
good at.
can afford a tent. I think I can grab that for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really should be better at this kind of thing by now.
I
Is
think tents.
anyone going out to sort of find out about the weather or anything similar?
Yes, because I'll do that while they go short, do tent stuff. Just because
Okay.
if we don't need a tent, I'm not gonna get one. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna sleep under the stars.
There's an observatory
Yeah.
in this area, I think, so they'll definitely know about the weather.
I don't think we can put that in the tent, Keats.
No, no, no. You can. It's fine. Just there's a flat expression. It's fine. Let's just go get the tent together and leave Bryn to it, shall we?
So who was Sorry, who was it? Who was going to go check the weather?
Bryn, I
I
think.
will.
Mhm.
The thing is, I
Bryn.
don't go to the conservatory. I just do it the old-fashioned way.
But I mean, what is your old-fashioned way of like predicting the weather? Is it like just observing things? Have you got like dowsing sticks, like some lucky weather dice? You know, what's the...
Yeah, like looking at like the clouds, smelling the air, and stuff like that. Like watching how animals move, like if they're moving in a certain direction, maybe like away from a storm or stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
That's going to be an intelligence. Well, twice intelligence. So your intelligence dice twice.
oh
Six to roll.
no, I got a 4.
Get a 4. So the problem is that you've got like your chart to look up the weather, and you end up turning to a page of your notebook that isn't about weather, and apparently tomorrow's weather will be frog.
So I'll eventually meet up with everyone and be like, bad visibility tomorrow.
Okay. We'll prepare for that. I have some spells that can get us around that kind of thing.
Like, when you say bad visibility, do you mean like it's gonna be raining, like it's gonna be foggy?
Foggy.
Foggy.
No rain yet,
Oh,
but if there's gonna be
Okay.
fog, maybe rain later. But I only got tomorrow's down pat.
I guess we'll find out as we go. Now, excuse me a moment. I'm going to go and get sort out our ration circumstances. And Keats wanders off. He'll return after June does her thing, though.
Oh, yeah. So is that all your journey planning? You know, ready to head out tomorrow morning?
Oh, tent was much cheaper than I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and mud boots was the only thing that I got. Apparently, I thought I had grabbed something else. So I have like a bit of money that I'm willing to put into a tent.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, you head out, and on your first day traveling, you skirt around the state forest, which is a forest of like corals and anemones, like giant land anemones. And there are some plants and trees in there as well, but some of those are sort of covered in these various like normally aquatic creatures. There'll be kind of like the branches of like an old oak tree, and on the branches are a number of like bright red anemones with like feathery tendrils, like snatching insects out of the air. But yeah, you skirt the edge of the deep forest, following the map as best you can, and it's a good day's travel out. As you sort of head down generally into the I forgot the name of the basin now. Into the Tharos Basin. You can see in the distance the rolling kind of giant coral-like hills, and the jagged spires of Moreau Castle, off in the far distance. Yes, I think 4 days might have been best for the round trip, if I'm completely honest. I don't know how if we'll have time to do too many journey checks.
Yeah, I
so
assume we're
sort of-
skipping some. That's fine.
Yeah, right, so at the end of the day, we're gonna you're by the banks of a little stream that's heading out of the forest, and you got a little bit of a view down into the basin. You can see off in the distance the Wigglespine River, and yes, would you like to make your first condition check? This should have been done at the very beginning when you gotta get up to go.
It's fine.
That's a strength and spirit. Whoever is, yes, yeah. I think everybody does that one.
Okay. Strength and spirit is a bit mediocre for me. That's a D4 and a D6.
Yeah, same.
2d4s.
A 6. Not bad, all things considered.
Also 6.
Also 6.
Oh, wonderful. Sixes all around.
Six.
So, you're in quite decent spirits. This would allow you to throw off a lot of like harmful effects and things like that. You're feeling kind of refreshed and kind of recovered. And now we're gonna have like a travel check. So whoever's leading the party makes it strength and dex roll.
Travel check.
And the difficulty is the terrain plus the weather. It's a bit foggy, but it's not bad today.
Mm-hmm.
I have a D68 for strength dex?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I have a D64. So
what I'm going to go and do is that I'm going to cast one of my spells because I'm eager to cast additional spells for Arrow Compass. It costs 4 MP and it grants a +1 on direction checks for the next 12 hours. So let's go put that on you. So you have that additional boon should you need to work out where the heck we're going.
Well, are we making a movement check or a direction check?
This is the travel check.
Sure.
Okay.
So you might as well cast it anyway, because it'll give a bonus to the next check.
Because if you're doing if you're guiding us, I thought I was just being the group, clearing the way for everybody. But if it's travel, I'm just looking at my worksheets. So direction check is int.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to do that or do you want to do it? Keith.
Oh, you do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Sure.
That's a +1, you said? The compass?
Yes.
10.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's the direction check to see if you get lost, right?
Yes.
Great. You're pretty sure you're nicely on your way. The difficulty of the check was 7 because it's plains, but there's a bit of fog, and in between the fog, you're kind of like glimpsing all these wonderful vistas in the background. Yeah, and now we're going to the actual travel check. So that's the strength and dex one.
And I think we all make that.
Yeah.
Strength and dex. Oh, that's not so bad. D4, D8.
I got a 4.
Ooh. Oh god, I got a 5. I'm not much better.
No.
Ooh.
I got too much mud on my boots.
Just trudge it along.
Has everyone done quite terribly?
Oh, no, I got an 8.
Okay. On an 8, you are complete. You are fine. You're. Who was it who got the 8?
Me. Meredith. Bryn.
Oh. So yeah. Your like Uncle Boots and Cape have seen you good around the sort of jagged corals. The others don't quite fare so well. There's a couple of slips and falls. And on the failed check, you are reduced to half hit points.
Oh. Okay. I take 4 damage. I do not have much health.
Yeah, you're it's a tiring day. This stream has been deceptively both slippery and jagged somehow.
Oh gosh, this is
rocks hidden in them there muds.
A little bit more intense than I was expecting, but we're making our way through.
Like perhaps someone like steps on a crab or something, and it's not very pleasant.
Come on, you two, you can do it. We just got a little farther to go, and then it's mostly downhill. So, got it.
So just roll my body down that hill there. Just woo.
I wouldn't recommend it because then we're gonna have to bandage you up. But
let's just support each other, I guess.
You're heading the right way to the river. And finally, at the end of the day, after this long slog over the corals and like blisters and scrapes and a generally damp and slightly miserable time for two of you, you find a little sort of a hill overlooking the stream, which seems like a decent place to make camp.
Okay.
Who would like to make the camp?
I have a D8 in Dex and a D6 in Int, so I think I've got the highest numbers to do the thing.
Wait.
I can go hunting if y'all want to make camp,
Hmm.
or unless you want to go hunting, June.
I was gonna suggest that we both do a bit of hunting if you got it, Keats, or I can stay and help you either way.
I've got it. Have fun.
Yeah, because I
Right.
think if we hunt, we can't help with the camp check.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I'll do my best.
Okay. So, Keith, would you like to make me
Yeah, rolling
a
them
camp check?
bones. Not bad. That is an 8.
That is enough. So you will have you kind of make camp on this weird sort of hill. It takes a while to get like the pegs into the ground, but it's got a good view. You've got a nice little fire going. You find a bit of firewood, some like scrubby brushes and stuff like that you can pile up and get a good fire going. It's damp, but it's not cold. There's it's quite pleasant. What around the campfire in the evening? What sort of things do you chatting about?
Ooh, what do I get up to? Is this before or after they return from hunting? Should we have that
I'm
conversation?
thinking this is like after they've returned.
Oh, shall we resolve
roll
the
for
hunting rolls first then? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what they brought back.
I got a 6.
5 total.
Oh, 6 and 5, huh?
Mm-hmm.
These are not being kind to me. I'm gonna have to dice jail.
Rude.
Rude.
So you don't find any food. Well, you don't find the sort of food you're expecting. What you do find is and I did ask in Furkiss about this, you find a wicker hamper out in the middle of nowhere, just like hanging off a tree.
I just look at you. Do you see that?
Yeah, is it? At first, I thought it was a nest, but it's not the right. It's not woven right.
It's like a picnic basket almost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Um,
suspicious but curious.
Okay, you stand behind that tree. Have your bow trained on that,
All right, I got it.
and
Let's go.
she's gonna
Look
take
at
her
the
pole
stick, yeah.
arm and just like
It's the
poke
rare
it to see if we
basket,
can
isn't
get it
it?
down.
Yeah, so you get a large stick and you kind of unhook this basket. Something rustles inside it, like not alive, but like just swinging inside it. And you take down the basket and cautiously open it.
My bow trained on whatever's inside.
It's a little bit. It looks like the wicker has been out in the elements a bit, and there's like a little bit of like green mold growing in the cracks. And inside is a sort of rough canvas bag with a drawstring. There is it says a cuddly pal. So there is like some weirdly shaped, what seems to be some sort of stuffed toy. With like large large antler buttons for eyes. It's got like quite a triangular like head. And there's like a bunch of like little scrawlings on some sort of skin.
Just like
Oh, this
Like
is-
a dried skin with some scrawlings on it in a language that you probably don't recognize, but we can make a roll if you really want.
How intense, Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
animal?
fucking cursed. She's gonna
Yeah.
put it back in the bag, close it up, put it and take the stick, put it back where it was.
I'm fine with this. I don't stop you at all.
I mean, are you actually just gonna put it all back and leave it?
Yup. Like if Bryn like stops me or anything like that, I'll stop so that she can do whatever. But
I'd
like
probably,
no,
look at it. I would like look at it, but like and just like try to like puzzle out what it is. But like I don't stop you from putting it back. I would like to make a roll to see if I recognize it, but like
Go for it.
int.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll
Nope,
post
I got a
the
3.
3. And you have no idea what this is, but it is definitely cursed.
Yeah. We couldn't find anything. Let's go back to camp and
Yep.
never talk about this again.
we got dried rations. We're fine. We don't need any of this.
Okay. In the Twitch chat, I'm gonna post the actual text that it generated.
Oh god, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, the way you sold that was definitely not that description, but is I mean, if you find a creepy doll out in the woods, you don't take that creepy doll home with you.
Also, if you describe that a stuffy has skin, I'm not gonna.
It didn't have skin. It was like there was like a sort of vellum kind of thing with it.
Mm.
I would like to avoid the fate of the white girl in the horror movie, please.
Hey, y'all have reasonable odds of being the final girl. I'm most likely to die first, fam. That's not.
I'm too much of a slut for that.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh gosh. So yes, you both return and like Keats is, made to the campfire. It's all quite peaceful. It's crackling away. They're retuning and kind of polishing their like ebony wood violin. And is all like, how was your journey? Did you manage to find anything interesting?
Find any food?
No food.
We did find interesting stuff, but I very much fear that if we talk about it, it's going to end up just showing up inside the tent as we're sleeping. So I don't want to. But we found some cursed shit.
Oh. That's all you get from Keats. Just like well.
Oh.
I have dinner handy, and there's a big kind of like slices of crusty bread that have been like lightly toasted on the campfire with a hefty smear of it's like the color of caviar.
Thank you.
Is it caviar?
You bite into the bread and topping, and it has a satisfying crunch to it. It has that kind of county fair fat and salt and carbohydrate style energy to it, and like a very strange additional taste. It's definitely not. It's not like meat that you're used to, but it's not unpleasant.
Porta made a comment. Is it Vegemite?
Keats says, "Oh, good guess, but no, I did manage to make spider jam." He says, smiling widely.
This is absolutely delicious. I love it.
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
And it will keep for a week. So I'm glad you like the taste.
Wonderful. Okay, so on the spider jam revelation, everyone gets a good night's sleep in the tent. There's so you wake up, it's a foggier morning. This is going to make the direction check a bit harder. So you're heading out down towards the river. Would we like to make the condition check to see how you feel when you get up?
Sure. Just to check, how does like MP and HP restoration work?
You passed the camp check, so you've doubled your current HP, which brings you back up.
It brings me back to full. Yeah.
And yes, you recover all your MP.
Hey, excellent. Cool.
Wonderful.
Right, and we're making our condition check, huh?
Which
yes.
is
see how well you
spirit
how you feel.
Again?
Pardon?
Condition with strength spirit.
Strength and spirit, yes.
Okay.
How are we feeling today? We are feeling
Oh,
8.
5.
Love to feel
Five.
love to feel 8 on a
High 5.
We
Okay, so on the 5s, I think you may have like slept a little weird because you were kind of creeped out by that creepy doll, so maybe
Terrible
didn't get quite
nightmares.
Oh my
as you
god.
are.
We
Great.
both wake up haunted looks on our face. Did you, June? Did you have weird dreams last night?
I just kept seeing the button eyes just looking at me, saying,
Oh, it was the writing just scrawling like across the inside of my eyelids all night.
Mm.
"Oh, that thing! I'm so glad we put it back."
Well, neither of you were talking in your sleep or anything, so there's that at least.
That's good.
Yeah, if you wake up and we're just talking in tongues, that's the time you leave the camp. You go back to
No.
town. You say you never saw us again. Is fine.
Wonderful.
I couldn't possibly leave you both behind. But we have another day of journeying ahead of us, so
We do.
let's get to
And
it.
it's going to be the travel check to see how you kind of do on your not particularly arduous journey. The
Mhm.
difficulty is going to be 8 though, because it's quite foggy and like the ground is sort of slick with moisture.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a penalty for the condition check for going on myself?
No, you didn't do that bad. The way condition tends to work is if you've got a condition less than like a status effect, then the status effect takes effect. So like if you have like poison 6, you have condition 5, you're feeling it. Like something's gone pretty badly. Whereas if you're condition like 8, you can sort of shrug it off and deal.
Since we're back to full MP again, Keats recasts the kind of guiding arrow on Bryn, so Bryn is ready to make that.
That's for the direction check.
Yes,
so.
the direction. I think you just said direction check, unless we.
No, we'll go the travel check first, see how you're feeling, then we'll see if you get lost.
Cool. That will be held. That spell will be held until we do that check. Then that's fine.
I mean, in the
movement
12
check-
hours, you're going to be doing the check. anyway.
Yay.
So movement check, strength, dex.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 7 on that one.
Oof. It's not going well.
No,
Strength
like I
and
said,
dex,
it's going
huh?
Oregon Trail real fast.
It is going a bit.
That's strength. That's a
Did
D4.
that cuddly animal give us dysentery? What's
Oh my
going on?
god! I
rolled a
got
1 on the
11 on that.
Oh, I'm so happy
11?
for you.
Yeah.
This time, like Keats is doing fine, having had like the good night's sleep, the nice dreams, the sort of waking up nice and early for the pleasant bird song. Whereas you two are kind of really not feeling it today. You're sort of like looking at shapes in the mist and thinking it's like weird things following you, and you're kind of distracted. It wears on you being that on edge all day, so that's going to drop your HP down. You're going to be on the half HPs.
I still have 10 hit points.
You're
As we
Gucci.
kind of
Holy
wander
cow.
past all these strange sort of rock formations and like almost incongruous like types of rock sort of stacked next to each other. Do see your first goat, however. Could you someone make me a direction check, please?
All right. That's double int. You know what? I'll make that this time. Let's
Do it.
double int. 2 6s. We got a with the modifier a 5. Well traveled is +1 to journey check, so that's not what this is. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's a 5.
journey check.
This is.
Oh, okay. Then a 6 then. Cool.
However, that is not the 8 you need to navigate.
No, it ain't.
So you're pretty sure you're doing well, but at some point you kind of lose the stream that you were following. You're pretty sure that thing led into the river that you're trying to find, but it kind of ducks in between some rocks, and you kind of ended up searching to like pick it up again on like a tor of rock. You just can't find that stream. However, what you do find is on the top of the rocky tor, there is like a round, sort of obviously artificial building. It's if you go back to that first background, please, Nathan.
Sure.
It's the round building from that. It's kind of covered in like living grass. And
Green
has a
coral
door in it.
looking
It
things.
looks about people sized.
Mm-hmm. In inspecting that, I think, if I may, I'd like to use my knowledge of tradition class skill to kind of get a gist of what this building might be or who might be inside. It's just int plus int, but hopefully that additional information will be useful. Whoop. A 5.
You don't know any. So in the town itself, there were some quite rounded buildings, but none of them sort of had the living grass on them. Just kind of looking at it, some of the proportions seem out from what you'd expect, like a human to build. And there is a little bit of smoke coming out from the like a little chimney. Kind of the chimney kind of sticks way out, like a 45-degree angle, and there's like little puffs of smoke coming out.
Well, the architecture of this building's a little strange, but hey.
Did we lose the goats?
Yeah, because we saw one, right?
Yeah, one wandering around.
What happened? Did we get lost?
That might have been my bad. Sorry.
It's okay. We feel like poop and
Well, at the very least, we can maybe ask whoever lives here for the opportunity to rest a little bit, and maybe they have a better idea of the direction where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the goat's living in this house. It looks lovely.
It's also an option.
I like that. Yeah, there's a very smart.
Okay. And at that stage, the door is going to be opened by a delightful fellow who's which I'm going to post in the Discord in a sec.
On it.
Finding things sometimes.
Okay.
On the screen, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that will appear on stream in just a moment.
Is that its collar, or are those just two little arms like tucked into the sleeves?
Okay, and then review.
I think that's like two arms tucked into the sleeves and like another set of arms further down.
Beautiful eyes.
Those are the eyes of everything's fine.
Yes. So yeah, that is the person who opens the door, and that is going to be our halfway little break.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, this is the little twist.
We will see everybody
we'll
in 5.
About 5 minutes.
Yes.
With the conclusion.
See you all in a bit. And we are back. I hope everybody had a fantastic break. We are playing more Ryuutama, a dreaming dragon, an AI-powered journey through this very, very cozy Japanese-written tabletop RPG with some astounding art, including the figure that we just met at this dominion, this rounded house with grass growing atop it, out in the middle of the coral plains.
And for those of you who have just joined us, so far on Ryuutama, the party arrived in Drakesborough, took the job from the job board that I was not expecting them to take, to go locate a missing prize goat for Kezel, the former master shearer. They've journeyed out round the Drakesborough State Forest with some success. Found a stuffed toy in a basket that they kind of noped out and left, and got lost in the fog and have arrived at a strange round house. They have opened yes, they knock on the door, and inside is the creature that you see on on the screen. The eyes are not fire. They kind of like look like almost like unglazed terracotta in texture. They're like wide dishes. The skin is kind of a very rocky texture. There's like little mineral growths on the cheeks,
Hmm.
and they kind of like look up at you. You're pretty sure that they can see you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be for the best. We aren't trying to intrude. Hi. Good afternoon. Sorry to interrupt if you were in the middle of something.
We're lost.
It's fine. I don't get travelers round here very often. I suppose you're having some bad luck too.
Just a hair. The fog turned me
Oh.
around a little.
Please, come in out of the wet.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be great.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of are ushered into the round house. Everything's a little bit too short for a human.
Mm-hmm.
But the figure kind of like potters around they're wearing quite a long sort of like loose pleated sort of like almost like a kilt kind of thing. Like an old long kilt. It's got like various folds and pockets and things like that in it. And it looks like they're maneuvering on four legs underneath it, but it's kind of hard to tell. And they kind of head over. There's the fires going. There's some strange like bellowed contraption like next to the fire. And they kind of clear off what look to be some manner of ceramics tools off the top of the fire and take a large octagonal metal kettle and put it on top. And I suppose you'll be wanting tea.
Oh, tea sounds lovely if you're offering. We don't want to put you out there.
Oh, of course I'm offering. I mean, what do you do when you have misfortune yourself? You try and make other people's misfortunes less bad.
You're the second person we've heard that has had misfortune. By the way, I am Bryn, and these are my companions, June and Keats.
A pleasure.
A pleasure. And then the figure kind of thinks and does like a very awkward bow.
Mm-hmm.
That's oh yes, my name is Ulrich.
A pleasure, Ulrich. Now about that tea.
Yes, and he kind of mixes up like some leaves in a little pot and pours a bit of water and lets them seep. Kind of adds some more and keeps kind of topping it up, like brewing up his it's quite like a herbal smelling tea. You know, sort of the sort of things you get in like chartreuse and stuff like that. That almost like alpine herbs. It's got that very strong scent to it. It's nothing. I lost my lucky bag. Our kind keep them, and they're quite special to us. But I lost it. I was in the woods.
I'm sorry.
Did you have anything in this lucky bag by chance?
Just that. Well, it sounds a bit silly, but there was a cuddly toy that I sometimes take with me when I've got no one to talk to.
Look
Yeah.
at June.
Oh, that's lovely. We might have come across it.
Oh, really?
Did it have like writing on it?
Did it look kind of like it was made of skin there?
It's just made of. Well, I suppose it's made of fur, so it is sort of skin. But there was my shopping, I say my shopping list, my list of things I wanted to go gather as well, and it was all in this lovely wicker basket that I'd made.
Yeah, we found it.
Oh, really?
we wanted to make sure if anyone was coming back to look for it, they could find it. So we put it right back where it was.
Could you tell me where it was? Please.
Oh yeah. June is gonna take the map that we have, because like and basically triangulate about where we were, give or take,
Yeah.
if she can.
It's in a tree.
Oh.
The wicker basket's in a tree.
A tree? How strange. The Ulrich kind of considers as they pour the tea out. They've got like large, wide hands in the same sort of like blues as their the rest of the bottom of their face, and they kind of pour out large sort of flattish mugs of tea.
More like a bowl than
Yeah, it is definitely got like the sort of more like a big ramekin more than anything. It's kind of awkward to grip with the fingers in like the human layout, but yeah, they seem quite excited that you've found their basket, and as you explain, they kind of it's one of the problems with leaving things around here. The land does change sometimes. Where is it that you're heading?
Well, we were trying to find the spot by the Coal River where goats tend to aggregate at this time of year. There's a missing one that we are trying to retrieve.
Her name is
A
Morgan.
particular goat.
Actually, a very particular goat. And Keats flips to, in their songbook, the notes on the goat and then thinks better of trying to dictate it back, but kind of gives maybe a 5-word summary of what this goat looks like.
The goat also really likes witchweed. Do you happen to know where we can find some?
Like if they think, well, and they kind of look at the map, like the sketch of the map, and point at like a weird boulder that looks kind of like an eye. That's on there. I think it's possibly near there. There's quite a lot of witchweed in that area. I'd take you myself, but I really need to go get my basket.
I understand. It must mean a lot to you.
It does. Well, the lucky bag in particular, it's very special to me. I keep all my good luck in it.
Well, here's hoping that luck is on your side once you manage to retrieve it then. Smile.
We will not keep you.
Thank you. The tea is very strong, herbal, and delicious. Everyone gets 2 HP back.
Yum.
Yeah, you've been sort of pointed in the right direction. But Ulrich seems quite keen to be leaving and getting off to go find this.
Bag of goods, yeah.
But they do mention that they haven't seen a goat that matches that description. However, because of the way that Ulrich's eyes work, they might not see color in the same way that you do, so it would be difficult for them to figure it out. Yes, Ulrich thanks you so much for finding the basket and asks if there's anything you need for the rest of your journey.
We used a set of rations, and hey, why not restock if Ulrich is being generous with additional rations? But otherwise, I think we're good.
Ulrich will furnish you with some homemade frog jerky. And
all right.
Good.
Yeah, and
it's just these teeny tiny strips, just like French fries.
There's a slight turn up of like nose at it, and then there's like a beat. Well, I did eat spiders yesterday. Thank you for the jerky.
Yeah. Ulrich clearly goes through a bunch of different things in cupboards and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and kind of discounts most of them as being poisonous to you lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is all I have that you can safely eat.
And
Please
a
take
tea
this.
bag would be great as well, actually, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
like Ulrich also wraps up a little bit of tea for
Mm-hmm,
you,
mm-hmm.
and it puts it in like a little ceramic pot that like you see a few of them around. Clearly, this is like Ulrich's trade is making these.
Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
Yeah, uh, yeah, you are furnished with tea and a little bit of rations, and sent on your way. On your
Right.
way down off the hill, you see like the clay pits that Ulrich tends, and you see a couple of like wild birds kind of take flight out of them. Um,
Mm.
uh, Now it's like later in the day, the fog has lifted a little bit, and not long after you find the stream, heading down towards the river and the Great Egg Boulder. Um, and yeah, the
What's the kind of energy around this kind of space? Does it feel? Yeah. What's the vibes?
quiet.
Mm.
There's unlike bits of like the when you were exploring earlier,
Mm-hmm.
especially around the edges of the state forest, there were kind of like crisscross tracks and things like that where clearly people did go.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's a little less well traveled. You see, there are some paths that you think are probably like Ulrich and a pack animal,
Mm-hmm.
clay pits, or down to like the stream to get water, that kind of thing. There's but you don't see any sort of well beaten paths anymore
Any
around here.
sign of goat?
Do you want to make me I think it's intelligence and dex possibly?
Would this be animal tracking?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh,
We both have
if you
animal
got an animal
tracking,
tracking thing, then yes, use that.
Mm-hmm.
which is strength and int,
Okay.
actually.
Mm.
Go for it.
We want to work together.
Yeah. I don't suppose I can like it's not one of those either I can give you inspiration or
I forgot how that works.
assist or anything, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a teamwork role in this game.
There is a teamwork roll, but I forgot how it works. So just give me a sec.
What's it called? Because that's the great thing about PDFs. I can
Searchable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, someone can check.
I
It's got
rolled-
a port,
I've-
I believe, is it?
Gona, I have 2d6s. What do you have in yours?
I have a D6 and a D4.
Okay, so I can roll.
Oh, chat says just add a +1. Will is actually pretty
nice one.
experienced with Ryuutama,
Okay.
so I trust.
Thanks.
All right. Do we want to do that? I'll roll and I'll add a +1 from you.
Yeah, you add a +1.
Awesome.
I did the
7.
standard. Oh, 7.
Ooh, how's it gonna turn out?
Mm-hmm.
Got the 7.
Ooh.
7.
Yeah, sorry, I said it. I didn't realize you didn't hear me.
No, you good.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yes. So that is equal to like the topology. So now that the weather's kind of lightened up a little bit, and yeah, you do find goat tracks. There are definitely some in the area. You find that the telltale sort of like eaten shoots and things like that. It looks like a lot of the sort of very young vegetation. So you think these might be like kids that have been grazing at this grass.
Hey,
Goats.
looks like there are some goats around here, young ones. So follow some tracks, take a look around. Maybe we can try and find Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you do that, I'll see if I can go gather some of the witchweed if it grows around here.
Perfect.
I do
So
have a morality question here. What if we come out here and Morgan's like got a whole family and like 20 kids and grandkids and great grandkids? Like, what are we gonna take him away from his family, or are we gonna just be like, here's where he's at if you ever want to visit him?
I think the latter.
Yeah, that I agree. I think maybe closure on what happened to Morgan will be enough.
Hmm.
Okay, I thought we'd, discuss it before it actually happens because you never know with these things.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, let's see if I can find some herb gathering to do.
yeah. So you're probably going to want to all head towards the landmark that was mentioned, the rock that looks like a giant egg.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like an absolutely enormous egg, maybe 40 meters long.
Wow.
Just perched on a hillside. There's water seems to be sort of seeping out of the ground next to it, and like running down in rivulets down to the river. It's not quite on an island, but there's like some quite marshy mud on the way over to it. If you want to attempt to cross that, that is going to need some checks.
Mm-hmm.
However, you reckon you could probably find some witchweed around the bank where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I could start looking around for ways across if people want to gather witchweed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help gather witchweed.
Okay.
You think the safest way would be to get some sort of wood, put down planks, basically make a duck board, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I shall do so.
Which would mean like felling some plant, like some small trees and things like that.
Mm.
Be quite an endeavor, but you could get over there.
I do have the ability to make a ton of autumn leaves conjured from nowhere. I wonder if that, in combination with finding maybe a small tree, it could be kind of a beaver dam
I
situation.
love that. That's such a good idea.
Mm. Do you mind if we quickly roll to see if we can find the herbs first? Because that doesn't feel like it'll take very long.
I think
And then we
that's a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. What number? What dice am I rolling for herb hunting?
Is there a thing
A
for it?
herb hunting skill? Damned if I
there-
know.
there
It
an
feels like
ability
int
for
and
hunting?
something. Sorry, go ahead.
It is into something. I'm just gonna check what I think it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
I figured it's whatever your heart tells you are the two dice. But
Yeah, I think it's gonna be probably int and dex or int and strength.
I will absolutely take an int and dex. If you're cool with that, I'll roll them bones.
Yeah.
What? Hey, big number.
Big number.
13.
Damn.
Was that the maximum?
Not quite. I'm one off maximum.
It's not a critical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you find there's a whole cornucopia of different like medicinal herbs here. You find a whole bunch of dazzleweed, which is you can sort of when you dry it and you set it on fire, it kind of like sparks, and it's like using sort of all sorts of little entertainments and things.
It's like flash paper when dried, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and bright and a lot of fun. You find some sort of like good stuff for teas. The sort of things like bay, like almost like a bay leaf type thing, which you use to kind of preserve things and stop things going off.
I had to spend a second to not spell that like the Pokemon, but we continue.
It's not actually bay leaves, but it's a similar idea. Using a similar way,
Like marjoram or something like that.
Yeah, there's a variety of crabs and snails, and you're not entirely sure if they'd be edible without making them into jam. There's definitely fish in this river, and
We can boil up them crabs. That's not an issue.
and you do see over on like the hillsides occasionally you spot some goats.
Do I find the legendary witchweed or
You do find
excellent?
the legendary witchweed.
I may do
It's
something
kind
very
of
silly
like
with that later. We'll see.
yeah, it's kind of like a long frondy plant, and you know, kind of like a bracken sort of leaves. Thousands of little split ones,
Perfect.
and almost like feathers. But yeah, you find your witchweed. What are the rest of you up to while the curb gathering's going on?
I'm trying to. I found like a good area, like crossover. I want to see, like, look around and see if there's anything that I can use because I know Keats suggested the leaves, but maybe something a little more tangible. So if there are like branches I can gather, or I don't have the right materials to cut down any trees or anything, but just anything that can be used as just not walking through water.
There's quite a lot of like gnarled, like small bushes, quite twisty and turny. Some of them are very prickly as well.
Yeah, we're not touching those.
Yeah, don't put your hand in the gorse bushes. That's a bad idea. I'm currently asking in Furkit what it thinks.
Give me what you get and give me what you got in fur kit. But yeah, just while they're doing that, I'm just gonna look around and gather what I can just to find something. So I don't have, yeah, I don't want to get wet, and June's boots are muddy enough as it is.
Well, and like also while they're doing that, like we found crabs and stuff. So June is taking those, and she's taken out like it is a basket, but like it's got holes in it to be able to put things in and let them drain. So it's essentially a sieve. And she's like picking up the crabs and collecting them for supper tonight, if she may.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you find there's a lot of kind of like small bits of wood. Without hacking down a larger tree, though, it's going to be tenuous at best.
Is there anything that on the other side that we would need to? Also, how long is it? Like, how much would we need to cross?
It's probably only about like 5 to 10 meters of really bad mud. The sort of mud that you would get stuck in if you tried to walk through.
Because what I'm trying to think of is there something I can maybe like lasso on the other side with a rope and use the rope to help us pull us across?
You want to make me a strength and intelligence.
Strength, intelligence,
Brain muscles.
D66. Yeah, D66. 8.
Yeah, there's some like odd like coral like outcroppings. Like it's clearly been dead like quite a while. You know, it's got like moss and other things like kind of over it, which is why it's hard to spot. But you reckon some of those outcroppings might be strong enough to like, you know, to put a rope on. It might not hold you. You know, you might not be able to just kind of like shimmy across the rope, but it might hold some of your weight, so you can sort of like idle
pull
across on
ourselves.
something that's less. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also means that if you do get stuck actually stuck in the mud, you can pull yourself out.
Yeah.
As someone who's experienced in the wilderness, though, you will know that this sort of mud can be incredibly dangerous.
Okay. All right. But there weren't many other places to maybe walk around, or do we have to go?
This is the closest place.
This is the closest place. All right. I'm gonna wait for everyone else to come back then.
And as you're checking out the island, you see a goat. One solitary goat. And a lone goat. One lone goat. It seems almost to be moping. Like up on the rocks, and I'm going to quickly drop the picture into.
Yeah, let's get
So I have an image for this one.
We have sad goat jams imminent.
This is the sad goat pick. The
Oh
goat
no.
Oh,
looks like bedraggled and unshorn. Like there's sort of its fur kind of hangs down in long ravels,
poor
but its
goat.
coloration is unmistakable.
That's Morgan.
Is Morgan trapped on a small muddy island and can't leave?
Poor Morgan.
Hmm.
Baby.
I just wait, looking forlornly at Morgan, stuck on our respective sides.
Okay. We're gonna try and do two things here. I don't think I'm gonna be very strong enough to be able to help the goat through the mud, but I can at least help entice it. And
Motivation.
Keats does two things. One, they go and spend 4 MP to do the pile of leaves spell. Fallen leaves, a cubic meter of cubic meter, huh? I can cast it multiple
Wow.
times though. It's only 2 MP. But essentially, cubes of leaves manifest from the air, ka-chunk, into the mud. A distance further on, ka-chunk, into the mud. I am happy to cast that multiple times to make
Wonderful.
Holy
another
shit, I'm
space.
just Googling it right now, and cubic meter is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
They're
Not only-
all
That's a butt ton of leave.
all of the leaves in the area. They all look like leaves in the area. I'm gonna cast that 3 times, so that's 6 MP.
Great idea. Are we gonna try and just go across here? This is the closest, but I wasn't sure if there's another like a safer way to go. Because
Well,
we get stuck there, we're gonna be stuck.
well, that's what the leaves are for. To kind of help. You know, um, in the way that like quicksand works is that it's the ratio of water to sand that makes it really like how hard to move in. So if we add more solid, then that makes it less impactful in terms of being able to sink objects. So we're just filling it with leaves to hopefully help stabilize that a little bit. And you're probably going to have to use the rope to help get the goat to the other side. And Keats is like, well, mind how you go. I'll just be sitting here. And Keats starts brewing some tea.
While Keats is doing that, I'm gonna try and lasso the rope to the other side to like get an anchor on.
That is going to be a strength and dex roll, please.
Come on. That's only a 5.
Okay.
Hmm.
The rope has gone around the rope has successfully gone over one of the spurs of coral, and
Hug it.
give it a tug, and it stays on. What do you do?
So the rope is affixed to the opposing side or
Mhm.
the side that you are standing upon?
Opposing.
Fix the other side. I think that's the reason Keats is staying, is to hold the rope on this side, or
I
you
was-
tying it onto one of like the base of one of the scrubby trees.
Well, do you want me to hold this side just in case something happens and you want to go over, or you can hold it and I can go
So
over?
Here's my thought there.
Mhm.
What if you'll stay here, you'll hold this side of the rope so that way for sure, like at least one side is 100% it's there, even if that coral busts open or whatever. I will go over and I'll tie a harness, or I'll tie a knot around the torso, Morgan, and we'll see if we can walk him across, and I'll hold onto the rope, and we'll it'll be as safe as physically possible.
And
Awesome.
bribe with witchweed.
And bribe with witchweed.
Mhm.
But which weed
Yeah.
should I bribe with?
Yes.
The dad jokes are my territory, Gene.
Wonderful. So you have your plan, and so who's going across first? Is it June? Or
Mhm.
Chris?
So I'm gonna be going across, and yeah, just using like holding onto the rope, walking across. Step one.
This is going. I'm going to need a dexterity and strength roll.
So June's the only one going over. I'm holding to the rope on this side while Keats brews some tea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
7.
Okay. You're kind of edging your way over the mat of small branches and packed with leaves. You know, the mud's kind of coming up and it's sort of sinking slowly as you head over. There's a horrible moment just near the edge where the rope attached to the coral the ropes attached to snaps off the white under material underneath kind of showing as it sort of pulls all the moss to the side. But you're nearly there. You with like a one final moment, you kind of leap over onto the edge, grab hold of solid land, and pull yourself out of the mud.
Are you okay, June?
Oh, I'm fine. I just, I upgraded my cloak and vest to muddy cloak and vest as well as muddy boots.
Yeah, your feet, your boots are probably muddier than they even normally are.
My boots look clean in comparison.
Possibly a good point. But yeah, your feet are wet and it's kind of horrible. But you're sort of mud all down your front. But you're over on the little island, and near the giant egg. There's once after Keats has pointed out like the witchweed plant, you'll recognize that a lot of the plants here are like witchweed plants.
Mm.
Oh no.
But they've all been eaten, like stripped of their leaves.
You're a little greedy guts there, aren't you?
Like at which point the goat on top looks over and in a voice that's very similar to Kezel's, as if but kind of through a goat's mouth. Who are you people?
Oh, I'm June. I'm a journeyman, and over there, that's Bryn. Wait, Bryn.
Are you here to help me?
Yeah, Goat just talked. Yeah, we're here to help you and make sure that you get back home safe.
Keith,
Oh,
make sure you put in your song that the goat talks.
Keats is already scribbling in in the book, being like,
And
"Oh, fascinating."
and that over there, that's Keats. Wave, Keats.
Keats waves. The tea is now at a boil, and you can smell that big herby mixture that Ulrich was serving before. But there's like a different note in it now. It smells slightly different, and you can't quite place what it is. But the goat probably can, because Keats put a solid amount of the witchweed into the tea, and that's just kind of like filling up the local air here. It kind of wisps on the wind across.
You're here to save me? I mean, I've been trapped on this island. I came across for the witchweed, and when I woke up one day, I couldn't get back.
That's very unfortunate, dear. It's okay though. We'll get you back across. We'll get you back to your town. We can maybe clean you up a bit.
June, could you make me a double spirit roll, please?
Kezel misses you.
Aw.
Could you roll like spirit twice, like double spirit?
Oh, double spirit. Okay, so that's 4.
And
an 8.
Speaks. Oh, sorry, there was a 4 and an 8. So 12 total, right?
Yeah, for 2 spirits.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a really good total. Like the goats. It's a talking goat. It's so weird. Like, and you feel like the emotion of its like sadness being trapped on this island. And when you mentioned Kezel, like the things are. It kind of perks up. It seems happier. Like it hasn't heard that name in so long, and you to help me.
We'll help you across. We just gotta with your consent, I will put this harness on you, and we'll track you across to the other side of the stream there.
I'm surprised he sent you. I ran away.
Oh, he misses you so much. You should have heard him talking about you. Keith's over there got a whole ballad about you.
It's
Really?
a little
You
overlong
missed
at this
it.
point, actually, but I'm working on editing.
Well, we can finish talking when you get over here.
Okay. You fixed the harness to Morgan the talking goat, and
I'm also gonna reaffix the side of the coral that broke and try to tie it to something a little sturdier if I can.
Well, wait. I was gonna pull, and I can't pull you if it's tied at the other side. Keats, I know we're a little stronger than you, but if you can
Okay,
help us pull-
I'll help. Just, I'm not getting that close to the mud, though.
That's fine.
And Keats kind of
Okay.
comes up and kind of grabs Bryn. I guess, have we traveled enough where he's okay with
Yeah.
grabbing you around the waist to be able to help pull?
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was
Cool.
gonna pull you too, in case instead of. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna tie you to Morgan then, because
Mhm.
I can probably get across on my own. Not sure about the goat.
June's hardcore
okay.
like that, you
I
know?
was- I would still grab onto the rope just in case.
Will do. Yeah, tie that onto Morgan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a double strength roll? So strength, just strength and strength.
I am helping, so you get a +1 to that.
+1. Fantastic.
Perfect.
I'm helping.
Oh, that's only a 5 as I'm trying to pull while they walk.
Yeah. You get the goat into starts kind of pulling its way across the mud, but then the Morgan's hoof kind of goes through the blanket of leaves, and Morgan starts to panic.
Artax,
Um,
no.
and
No,
all of you make me a
say that.
double spirit roll, please.
Not bad.
Oh no, why would you bring up that childhood
Haha.
trauma?
Sorry, I was very slow in the uptake there. I rolled a 10.
Oh,
Wait, is everyone rolling spirit?
everyone
double
experiences spirit, yeah.
Oh, okay, hold up.
I believe in yous.
6, surprisingly.
Not bad.
With-
Also
2d4s.
6.
Nice. And finally,
Two
Oh,
sixes
I
and a
also
10.
got a 6.
okay.
Sorry.
You're all gonna sort of experience this, but Keats is able to keep more of a level head. You can feel Morgan's panic, it's spreading out as Morgan cries out. You can feel it kind of soaking into you, and you're starting to panic too. So you have that is going to be you have got the panic 8 condition. Which means because of your condition check, you will be stepping down your spirit dice, and for future checks.
What do
So-
I do? I already have a D4 for my spirit checks.
Don't. I'll check.
If Will is still in the chat, what happens if you go down below minimum die? Let us know.
Yes. Yeah. You're panic. You're struggling not to panic. As not to completely lose your mind as this ghosts emotions flow into you. What are you doing? The rest.
Do I cast this instead? You allow me this. It's not necessarily rules as written, but I think it's appropriate.
Okay.
I
What are you
have
thinking?
very unusual spells in my list, and one of them is Otome Tears, which is supposed to make them cry so they lose accuracy. But I like the idea that instead it's kind of magically welling up some kind of emotional 90s montage of Kazil in the goat. So the goat, rather than thinking about panicking, sinking into the mud, is just thinking of all the good times they had together and is now openly weeping.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, is there a role for that, or is there?
I guess that would probably be spirit plus spirit to cast spells.
Yeah. Go for it.
That is a 6.
It's not enough to completely get rid of the panic, but it is enough to sort of subdue it enough that it will knock the condition down. I 3. So it is now panic 5.
Which is a little bit more copable. And then I guess Keats tries his best to pull on his own while everybody else is panicking.
Go for it.
Yeah. I think what my panicking looks like is just like over trying too hard to like pull them back, but not doing as well because I'm inaccurate.
Like you're losing your footing as you're sort of scrabbling for a position, that kind of stuff. June, you're in some trouble at the moment because you're kind of on the mat as well.
Right, let's see. So, a 4 and a 3, which on D4s is very good. That's a 7.
Yeah, and you do have help.
So if you'll add a +1 to that, that's an 8.
Dragging the panicking Morgan through the mud, drenching that beautiful, like that wonderful coat in like dank river mud. As you drag the goat through, and eventually, Morgan is like laying on the other side. June, do you want to make me a strength and dex roll, please?
Hey, June.
6, which seems to be about my average.
You've made it a good way across, but now you are starting to sink. Like the problem is that the sort of track that you've made, like that Morgan's dragging Morgan across has kind of disrupted that like nice pathway. So you're kind of like starting to sink into the mud where it's been like swept away by the dragging of the goat.
Can I
Morgan
try?
is completely caked in autumn leaves by this point.
That's fine. Can I try and like take the loose end that's not tied to Morgan and like throw it out to June?
Yes, you can. I think your panic may be an issue here. So,
Yep.
yeah, step one of your dice down. But it's going to be strength and dex.
Okay, I'll do 2d6s instead of a d68. 6.
It's nearby. It's close. It's not quite in your hands. Scrabble. There's a brief, terrible moment where the panic wells up, but then you feel the rope in your hand and you grasp it.
Doing the full like shoot. I have like this picture in my head.
Cool.
The full Indiana Jones like slog out.
Yeah, like hand over hand, sort of climbing up the rope as well, and
it's like a mix of us like pulling on our end and then like grasping and climbing on June's end.
Yeah, and at the end, you're on the bank near Morgan, absolutely drenched in mud, soaked to the skin, probably gasping for breath because that that did nearly kill you.
Oh, I don't. Oh, never want to do that again. Oh, that was.
Welcome back to us, June. Would you like some tea?
Would you like a hug?
I just the kind of like the kind of pleasant, placid expression doesn't change. I think I'm okay, thank you.
So maybe some tea, some
I'll
rest,
take the tea though.
some cleaning.
Are we able to eat witchweed?
It's a potion ingredient, so it's definitely potable. Whether it tastes good in the tea that Keats has been brewing to entice the goat is, I didn't pick the chef archetype.
Yes, Morgan is kind of spluttering and kind of seems to have forgotten how to talk briefly, and is clearly panicking still, but less so now they're kind of laying on the side and doing this.
Yeah, we have that wide bowl cup that Ulrich gave us, and the goat's like lapping the tea out of that.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's great. I love that. You've got like you got like cups for you, and then you've got like a bowl for Morgan as you fill your stomachs with nourishing tea, which, to be fair, brings the panic down a little and lets everything.
It's all good tea should.
So now it's getting quite late in the day. You're probably gonna want to camp. So could whoever's doing it make a camp check?
I did before, but does anybody else want to have a go?
I'm not going hunting. I think I saw you bring back crabs. We can have crabs.
Let's do a good old-fashioned crab boil.
Okay, so maybe we just stay here, do camp, and head out in the morning.
Sounds good.
So camp check. Is my one of my dies still low?
I think it's gonna be. It's hard to concentrate. You did nearly. Your friend nearly died.
I'll keep it down to decent.
Yeah, Dex still is my best combo, so I'm happy to do the actual campfire. Is there a separate rule for cooking, or is it like a?
Not really. It's part of the camp check.
Cool. Then I guess we get
some other rules for it in your archetype and stuff. But,
we get crab bonus, I guess. Wow. That's okay. That's an 8. With the crab
enough.
bonus. Solid.
Nice. Yeah, you make a good meal for everybody. It's nice and warming. You get June out of like the water, get a sort of dried off a lot more. Get a bigger fire than you normally would going just to get everyone warm again. Morgan is still drenched in mud.
I'll probably while we're all doing a little bit of camp, what I'll be doing is untying Morgan from the harness and trying to finger comb through the fur, but also been out here for a couple of years, so it's more so just trying to get off as much mud as I can because he's probably really bad and needs a good shear.
Yeah, Morgan definitely is in need of a good shear, but oh my, that fur is beautifully soft. And it's so fine, and even for a little bit of sort of getting the mud off, you can see the luster of Morgan's coat.
The luster, wow.
So yeah, you make your camp. You got this fire going that in a hollow in between two outcroppings of coral, as the Wiggle Spine River kind of flows through near you. There's various waterfowl on the water, some in kind of quite lustrous colors. As it comes to evening, some of the coral spars start to light up, and as you sit, and it's not all of them, but they're quite sparsely spread out. But there's little firefly lights on the ends of some of the branches, almost like the stars have come down to the earth.
Pretty.
As you sit on the calm bank of the river, trying to forget the mud. Is there anything you'd like to say? I mean, Morgan is there to answer questions.
I think if nothing else, Keats finishes the song. Rules is written. It's about a weather type or terrain. I guess it's riverside as the terrain specifically. I think the song is still called "The Ballad of Morgan."
Yeah.
But mechanically, it's about riverside, walking along riverside terrain, avoiding mud, kind of cautionary tale of the journey we just had over the last 4 days.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
Um,
Morgan, you said you ran away.
Yes. I
You
thought
want to talk about it?
I thought he didn't care about me, just about my fur, my coat, my pelt. All he talked about. He really does care.
Oh, he missed you a great deal from only talking to him for about 5 minutes. 4 minutes of it was talking about you.
Really?
1 minute was talking about his misfortunes.
Really, he really misses me. I mean, doesn't just miss all the crowds, all the fame.
He does come across as the type that isn't particularly good at expressing himself emotionally.
Yeah.
Yes, I managed to unlock the door one day and bolted out. I thought that I'd be happier out here, being
Right.
free.
I
It's
think you two should talk. If
Hmm.
that's how you feel, you should talk about it. And maybe if he's being a jerk, or if you can travel.
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fun fact, there's more to the world than just this island. You could go on a journey.
See all the other goats on the island. None of them go on there. I think it's that they don't like the witchweed. But I went across to eat it and was trapped.
Hmm.
It was terrible. I've been there so long. I called to people. When I call to people, they scream and run. I'm some sort
It's
of monster.
it's a little understandable. I mean, you don't often meet a talking goat.
Suppose.
Hmm. May I
Ugh.
make a what is it? The double int like lore knowledge of tradition roll.
Yeah. What are you
Uh,
looking for?
I want to
Oh,
know if there's a particular history of these talking animals. Is Morgan the first, or is this actually something that has been noted in traveler lore?
yeah, make a roll.
I'm pretty sure it's implicit. I broke my character sheet and now have to double check. Implicit, cool. 2d6. Fine. 5.
With a 5, there's a lot of stories about talking animals, but
Mm.
most of them are kind of like children's fables.
Mm-hmm.
There's one you do remember about a group of animals that eat a load of like particularly strange mushrooms and go on a magical journey. But you're pretty sure those are kind of stories for children that aren't that based in truth.
Oh, I see. I see. I see why that message is in Twitch chat. I understand. Hmm. Well, I mean, if I rack my brain, a lot of the instances of stories I can think of are like sirens and the like, where people, a human voice calling out near kind of dangerous terrain. You know what I mean. So there may have been people who were a little wary for that reason. But at the very least, well, he clearly cared enough about you to go and send 3 travelers to go and find you.
Wonderful. Yeah, he like as you're sort of talking to Morgan,
Mhm.
and like Morgan's mood lifts, and when Morgan's mood lifts, it with it you can feel like yourselves getting happier and happier. Like Morgan's voice has a a hypnotic effect on you, like transmitting his emotions.
Very special goat, indeed.
Well, it just means we're going to be in high spirits for the 4-ish journey day,
Yeah.
4-day-ish journey pack tomorrow.
So,
Yes.
things go well in camp. You wake up in the morning and Morgan is still there and hasn't run off. Is there anything in particular you want to do on your way back or before you head back?
Hit points are back, right?
Yes. You pass the camp check, so double your hit points.
Cool.
And like we don't have the negative roll stuff.
I think the joy that you managed to get from Morgan has kind of allayed that. What I might do, actually, everyone make your condition check for the day. If you get 5 or less, you're going to have the condition of being super happy and optimistic, which could be very dangerous.
Condition is strength and dex, yeah?
Yes.
Got it. Oh, no. Even on the D8, that's a 3.
Whee!
So it goes.
9.
You're feeling good today.
8.
Again, like that, you feel very recovered from your antics. You think, you're sort of priding yourself in a job well done, maybe, and definitely the whole like scrabbling around like crazy, like high action, like adrenaline has meant you slept very soundly last night.
Yeah, no, I think that mud there had some rejuvenating stuff in it. Just felt It's spas do that sometimes, so maybe that's like really good mud.
Oh, marvelous! I'm so glad that worked out for you.
What's Keith's total?
Glowing.
My Keith's total was a 3 on condition check,
Oh, wow.
so I am in high energy, high spirits today.
You're like super reckless.
Right, we have a long journey ahead of us, but we should go and stop in with Ulrich before we do our trip on the way back.
Yeah, stop in, say hi, get back to town, get a
Right.
real bath.
A real bath would be absolutely
I'm gonna
excellent.
do the direction check first this time. In that case, if you're gonna try find Ulrich on the way back,
Sure.
makes more sense that way, I think.
Yeah, let's go pop 4 points of NP for that additional point on the direction check.
Who's gonna make it this time?
Is it still me with the highest in D6?
I think so.
No,
I
I
have-
also
I
have
have-
a D6.
Yeah, I have a D6.
Oh, one of you two do it. You can do it. Absolutely.
Actually, I was gonna say, I think Keats's int is probably gonna be penalised by that recklessness.
Fair. So,
Charges
June,
off towards-
I give June the guiding compass spell, and you are.
So that's a 6 from the die.
So 7.
Yeah.
7 in total, then. Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's you're making quite good progress. You find the hill that Ulrich's little house is on top of. It's quite a fine day at the moment, but there are clouds rolling in, and they're rolling in from the far mountains where you're pretty sure that mountain that off in the distance was over there a bit yesterday. The bit where the land gets really strange and you get huge shapes that could never normally exist. It's over. The clouds are drifting in over from that. Tomorrow is likely to be a very strange day.
Noted.
But yes, you do find Ulrich's little cottage, and you find Ulrich in high spirits, having regained his lucky bag. And as you to show his gratitude, he kind of reaches into the bag, looks through a few things, and hands you a small rock. It's just a rock. It's not carved or anything, but it's a really pretty rock with like a load of striations through it, and it'll help you. Yeah. If you're ever in real trouble, throw it over your shoulder, and it will help you.
Does it matter which shoulder?
He kind of like shrugs, and like the little arms near his neck kind of shrug as well, because he clearly has like two sets of shoulders. He doesn't know quite how this works if you don't. Uh, it is a great honor for my people to give a gift such as this. So use it wisely.
Thank you.
Will do, will do.
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't doing the voice. Use it wisely. But anyway, like Ulrich's little like kind of leave Ulrich to firing his like oddly shaped pottery, and head up past the side of the forest. You want to make me the journey check?
+1 to journey checks. Yeah,
Good check.
cool.
Do it up.
I mean, your difficulty's only 6 because it's quite a nice day today.
Cool. And that is a 10. So hey, we schmoovin'.
Hey, everyone passed.
Oh, we're all making it. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you all make these ones.
Mobby.
What is the journey check?
Also got a 10. Dex strength. Movement check.
Excellent.
Fuller.
Wrong thing.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, the travel check.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, not me. For Gona.
I got a 4.
Oh yeah, you're the one who's having to sort of wrangle Morgan over like difficult things, and it's just awkward and tiring, and yeah, it's not a fun time.
Oops.
Like for you think being stuck on the island for so long has like kind of made him a little bit weak and not the healthiest goat. So like he'll miss like jumps that a goat really should be able to make. And at one point, yeah, Morgan just lands completely on top of you. And
No.
that is why you're on half HP.
Okay.
You struggle your way up the valley. You've reached the somewhere near, like the first site where you made camp. You think you're about there. Looking around, you can probably find the remains of your campfire. If you want to reuse the same place.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go hunting this time around though.
Oh,
While everyone else, if everyone else wants to set up camp.
Morgan is running off and eating random vegetation and being so happy to eat things that are just witchweed and that like weird grass that grew on that like little island. A varied diet seems to be doing wonders for his mood, even if it means that June keeps having to kind of chase him back and herd him back. And yeah, I think the reason that he was having trouble is because he's under the effect of the emotion thing as well.
Oh, it's just a negative feedback loop. Good God.
Oh yes.
Whoops, big mood.
Yeah. Do you want to make the hunting check then, please? And whoever's doing the camping, make the camping check.
Sure. Camping.
I got an 8 for hunting.
Dex int for camping.
And hunting is the target number is based on the topography.
So it's 6.
I got an 11 for the camp check.
Oh, good.
Are you meant to be eating
Mine
the
was
goats?
bad. So
I
thanks
am
for
able
the
to bring
save.
back 2 sets equivalents of rations or food. So I'm coming back with like small animals and stuff.
Yeah, my camping's just a 4. It is not very good, but hey, we move.
Okay. I asked in Furkit what you find.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Tell me, Furkit.
Yeah. So you have found half a coconut, 3 missing chicken legs, a rusty rake, a stone slab, a cactus flower, and the ring of a magic amulet.
Oh, buried the lead.
Interesting.
It's like the sort of like frame you have around an amulet, like or
Yeah.
it'd be like a really big stone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Find the setting, but there's no stone in it.
Okay. Does it fit the
Underneath the
stone?
stone slab, you find some like some mushrooms that like are quite like reasonable to eat. The cactus flower is like a great big thing.
It's the size of a cabbage.
Yeah, it's the size of a cabbage. You've got a. I'm going to be generous and give you a full coconut.
Thank you.
And the chicken legs are now missing because you have them.
Yes. So I'm coming back with all of this stuff. The
Right.
lettuce probably big like the flour. I'm just like, I don't know why this is here, but I know it's delicious.
Like you come back and we're just like we're gonna do Chopped camping edition.
Yes,
So
yes,
what
please.
if you? What was the camping check?
I had gotten an 11.
Oh, wonderful! So yeah, the hunting and the camping goes well. You eat well that night. You've got like small birds that were you've taken from the forest. You've got the cactus flower kind of you bake it maybe or something similar. And you've got this weird thing you found, this like strange glittering metal ring. You might not want to keep the rusty rake. I mean,
No, I didn't even grab the rake. I did not grab the rake at all. Did not make it back.
I wonder
so,
if that stone that Ulrich gave us fits in the setting. Just
Does it?
in pure narrative coincidence.
Does it?
yes. It does. Yeah, it fits the setting quite nicely. You need a chain to hang it around your neck, but it definitely fits. It's a bizarre little coincidence.
Very, very odd, but there's a lot of odd things in the world.
There are a lot of odd things like that. Like, why was there a cactus in there in the forest?
Exactly. That's the most concerning one, to be honest. And the
It
coconut.
was on the cactus when
Coconut,
you
yeah, I
found
thought
it.
I thought this was a temperate area. Why do we have some did a swallow bring it?
I don't know. But I'm not gonna lift some gift vegetation in the mouth.
Might be the same thing that brought the tiny catapult that they have in the museum back in the.
I thought it was a toy, but then it was fully functioning.
Yeah. So, the camping goes well. It's you have a lovely meal. The cactus flower is delicate but delicious. And yes, you're awoken in the morning by a heavy thump on the outside of the tent, followed by some more heavy thumps on the outside of the tent.
There's a
Swear to
tentative
God, if
head
it's that
emerging.
doll.
Yeah. Oh no.
What was that?
Yeah.
What did you both say?
It's that doll. There's just a moment where we all just stare at each other, just sweating.
And what did you say, Gona?
I did.
Oh, I said, I swear to God, if it's that doll.
Oh, you were both saying the same thing. Beautiful.
So yeah, you hear Morgan kind of, what's going on? What's happening? Huh? Ow!
Oh no, the doll has Morgan. Gonna open the tent flap.
You open the tent flap and are hit in the face by a fish.
What the heck? What's
This
going
was not
on?
what I signed up for.
You look upwards and the air is not thick with them, but there are fish falling out of the skies, like smallish fish.
Like bluegill?
Pardon?
Like bluegill?
Yeah.
Relatively fresh?
Except they're dressed in human clothes. They've got like little jackets and shirts, and some of them have trousers.
It's
I think
just
we should pack up and head back to the village.
that
So yes,
seems
I
reasonable.
am not
Yeah.
going to make us make the journey check as our intrepid adventurers shelter themselves under like the tent cloth from
Yeah.
the rain of clothed fish,
Mhm.
heading back by the giant anemone forest on one side and the bucolic grasslands with its like strangely round bushes on the other side, up towards the like large outcropping of Coral Hill. That has Drakesburg like built into it,
Mhm.
and that's where we're going to leave it for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We
I
made
hope
it back.
everyone had fun.
We have time for a parting word from Kazil, considering we've returned their precious goat. What do they say
Yeah.
upon it being returned?
What's the drama? What's the tea?
Yeah. Okay. So when you return, like Kazil Kazil seems to be waiting for you. Like he knew that you were coming.
Hmm.
And he kind of, it's really true. You found Morgan, and Morgan looks up and goes, Kazil, and Kazil seems to take a moment to process that Morgan just spoke and faint.
Oh, beautiful. This is a new development then.
There we go. Excellent. All right. That has been a Dreaming Dragon, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before we go ahead.
I really enjoyed that. We had some very strange suggestions from Infurkit. Generated about 2,500 characters from Infurkit over the course of this.
All right.
We did a little bit of stuff with Midjourney as well. A few images. I did not expect you to take the goat mission.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Which
Why
one did you
not?
expect us to
Indeed.
take?
I didn't know. For a second I thought it was doing Papa's stealing eggs. But
Heist.
Egg heist.
I'd just like to go through it. Does everyone, I'd like it if we could. Just everyone would like say like what their favorite bit of theirs.
Sure. I was going to say, we usually do the comments and kudos bit at the end of these streams. We talk about a rad thing that another player did, any cool moments.
So, who would like to go first?
I adore the sudden, I am bad at internet, it's the Wisconsin accent for Jean. Was that it? Did I get that right?
I guess Wisconsin, like I always think of it as Minnesota, but
no, it's
Minnesota.
you
A
probably
little
did
bit
it
like it's that
accurately, and
area.
I have the word wrong. Don't worry about it. But I adored that. That was so cute. I loved every second of that. That's such a great character choice, and it definitely set you apart since you both chose the same class as being hunters. I think that was a really fun way of helping to immediately kind of separate you to both in terms of like tone and energy. It was really cool. I like that choice.
I liked the whole Spider Jam stuff. All of it. From start to finish.
What a
and
bit.
bringing it as a callback when you actually did make it into Jam. Don't want to know where you got the spiders, but
Hey, they were selling the crispy spiders on the stick. I just took a couple and used the jam ritual, which I have.
so it's a something.
Mm-hmm.
love that. Dang it, that was gonna be like my favorite part. But also I love that like Mare, you were right there with me as far as like, oh no, this doll is cursed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like your yes and was absolutely fantastic. And like
keeping this shit.
yeah, no, fuck this.
That's because it's almost very anti-JRPG in that kind of energy, right? We're like walking along and an item, what's this? We're going to leave this behind. But it's a treasure chest, aren't you? We're going to leave this behind.
This is we're doing the if it costs you your piece, we're not dealing with it.
Heck yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
One thing I really liked is just the way you all handle the switch from like whimsical fantasy to, oh no, we're going to have to do this seriously. When we got to the sort of bridge bit, I think I was worried that wouldn't stick and it would be hard to get onto that track. But I was so impressed with like how that, like, you handled that and sort of like made seamlessly switched into, this is actually serious, we should be serious. Sort of
You're
mode.
working
It
with
was
some
really
actual play professionals, baby.
Absolutely.
We know what it do. Absolutely. We got to get the plot. We got to actually finish the narrative arc. It's important, for sure. No, that came together amazingly. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you for running the game.
Thank you so much,
for,
Dave.
Like, yeah.
I mean,
I
a
love
lot
Muffin.
of it. Oh, Muffin. Yeah, it's like I was gonna have her like turn up if we had some time, but no, we didn't. So,
You were
we
spending
too
you
busy.
you were using that time putting together all the bits and pieces in terms of tech and getting the AI bits and pieces to work correctly. So it's fine. I think that's a reasonable choice of plate to spin. And while we're at it, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and Wagwan with your life, Dave?
So I occasionally tweet. I'm at Uncanny Dice. Mostly about tabletop roleplay stuff. That's pretty much all I do social media wise. I am at the Natural Food Cafe in Edinburgh at 10:40 through the Fringe, like every day through Fringe. I'm doing like 23 shows of it.
Wow,
And the show
23.
where you basically, I'm gonna be in character as a crazed game designer. I know it's a stretch, but I'm gonna sort of build a game with the audience in an hour, and we might get some playtesting in. We might all sorts of different types of game. Like set up some constraints. A lot of audience participation. You might end up up with me playtesting something, or shouting random words at someone, or doing some ominous chanting, or all sorts of stuff. It's a really fun show, and it'd be really cool if people came and checked it out.
Yeah. Well, we're in the UK friendly slot for this stream time, so hopefully we'll get some eyes on it. I'll be sure to go and highlight when we do all the socials for this after to give you a follow so they can find out where you be and what you're doing. Mare, how did you enjoy your time? Tell us where you are and what you do and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter, Archmage of Dice. I'm also a producer over on the Friends Who Roll Dice Twitch channel, and you can find them at Friends Who Roll on Twitter. I produce a game on Friends Who Roll Dice called Should Suns Rise, which uses the Once More Into the Void system, where a crew is that once defeated a great evil has been brought back together to defeat the evil once again, and I'm the producer of that game. And I will also be running a game called Printweaver Journey on Friends Who Roll Dice that premieres on August 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's basically the game uses your fingerprints for character creation.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
very Dark Souls-esque, lots of dying, future dystopia vibes. So come join us for the premiere of that at the end of the month.
I've seen that game tweeted about before.
Yes,
They
I'm
highlighted
super
that
excited
there's an entire class that you have if you happen to not have a fingerprint or finger on.
It's called Fireborn.
Very cool.
It's
Hell yeah.
really cool.
Gona, please tell everybody who you are, where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Gona Hawking. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and TikTok, like all over the space as Gona Hawking. I am an actual player. I do DM, but because of my tech issues, I have not like set up any games for a minute. So if you want me in a game, contact me. I would love to. I would love to help.
Please do get them on your show. You've seen live that they are, to put it mildly, a fucking delight. So please do cast all of these fabulous people in your shows. As for me,
I can do everything except compliments.
Cool.
As for me, you will be able to see me, well, here on this channel, but you will also see us here in an hour at 6 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. BST. Which is 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be back here with Will Yule's session for Phantom Arts Fest. Cast the Dice, which is a game where we are all goofy wizards and the dice that we roll determine the type of magic that you cast. They do not necessarily need to be numerical dice. I'm very much looking forward to going giving that a whirl. But in the meantime, let's go pass on, all you beautiful people, while I go and take a break and sort myself out, to Captain Hurricane, who is currently doing an all-day charity stream. So I do want to pass him on to go and send the love.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.
Indeed. We will see you all in an hour. Farewell, everybody.